Was having a little bit of difficulty trying to sign in, so trying to work with her behind the scenes as well.
I'm here now.
Oh, okay. Welcome, Madam Chair.
Yeah, we can just. Do you think we should give everyone a couple of minutes?
Yeah, I'll say maybe just a couple
Okay.
more. In the interest of time, um, if you want to go ahead and get ready to call the meeting, and then that way, if others join later, I mean, obviously they'll be welcome. It looks like we may have the majority of members. So if you want to go ahead and get the meeting called.
Sounds good. Um, okay, it is 5:33 p.m. and I'd like to call the November 29th, 2022 meeting of the Youth Council to order. Roll call, please.
All right. As I call your name, please indicate your presence by either saying present or here. Uh, what I didn't mention last time is that if you join after I have called roll, please inbox me, send me in the chat just to let me know that you're present. So that being said, Precious Berry,
Here.
Sophie Chapman, Toby Ugambanke,
Present.
Elizabeth Franklin, Audrey Reese,
Here.
Elise Green, Erica Green,
Present.
Dale Burr,
Present.
Avery Duecker,
Present.
Emily Brower,
Here.
Tyler Brower, Ashwar, oh, Caitlin Sepak, am I saying that right? I think I see you, Kaylin. See your name, but I think you're muted. And then Madam Chair. So quorum has been established.
Okay. Um, yeah. Um, okay, so firstly, I would like to motion to approve the meeting minutes for October 27th, 2022. If anyone has a second.
Second.
Thank you. Um, okay. This is um, for our next discussion item. I think we just have um, issues impacting St. Louis County youth, and for these issues, we might include, for example, opioid usage, gun violence, lack of educational resources, need for emergency preparedness, etc. And I would like to take a twofold approach to this discussion. Um, and so maybe I would appreciate if each member of our council, of the Youth Advisory Council, could share what you're currently working on in the community, maybe volunteering or a club or something like that, and how you think those issues are already working or could be tied with the St. Louis County Youth Advisory Council issues to address. Um, yeah.
I can start.
Okay.
My name is Precious Berry. I am on the first district of Missouri. So one issue that I'm trying to work on right now within my district is focusing on mental health. trying to incorporate more mental health facilities that are going to be accessible to children and adolescents in our community, seeing if I can connect to those resources they may be able to put in the school districts, whereas that students will have reliable access just to reach towards them, and just giving out those resources. So that is one thing that I'm working on countlessly to make sure students are able to provide and get the necessary needs that they may need during to mental health.
Yeah. I think that's a good one. Anyone else?
So I can go next. So I help tutor elementary school kids and help them with homework, and I'm trying to like spread awareness for the younger kids because everyone focuses on more like high school, like all that homework, but people kind of overlook the fact that the younger kids also may need more help than they're getting.
I can go next. So I also help tutoring, but I tutor high schoolers since I'm in high school. And that helps because a lot of high schoolers could think, oh, I'm dumb and I can't do this because I don't understand it. And that might just be because they don't understand like what the teacher is teaching. And maybe it coming from a peer would benefit them more. So, because I was in that position, so I feel like helping them also helps me in a way.
I also have one to share. I am on the Federal Emergency Management Agency's Youth Preparedness Council also, and they do work on a national level there, and they're called FEMA. And with that, I think I've learned about the importance of integrating youth voices into emergency readiness programs, and so I think that could be a topic we could look at this year, looking at how to make sure youth and our communities in general are prepared for storms. There are a lot of tornadoes in St. Louis, fires, diseases like COVID, things like that, that impact us regularly.
Madam Chair, I apologize for interrupting, but I believe when you did the second for the minutes, you actually did not vote on approving it. And so just procedurally, I know this is, I think, the guy's second meeting, but there is a second now, but now, Madam Chair, if you could take up a vote to approve those minutes, that would be the right procedure. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Yeah, can we have a vote to approve the minutes from last time? I guess all in favor. Aye.
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 Hi.
Is that good?
When the minutes are approved.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share, activities that they think might be relevant to the council?
I can go next. So my school, I'm working with my school right now, and we are doing fundraisers to help kids make sure they have places like shelters to sleep in, like homeless shelters and stuff like that.
I'm on my school's student and climate culture panel. It's something that we do during advisory. And with that, we've been working on students' mental health, trying to like create safe spaces because a lot of the issues, like big issues that we're seeing, like drug use and gun violence, like those stem from mental health and the lack of support that people are getting.
Yeah, I think that ties in well with the second topic I'd like to get to. Uh, I think we should also propose a few topics that we might consider important for discussion within this council this year. Maybe main topics, like you said, like mental health or drug abuse, for one, I think maybe the opioid crisis and guns impact our region a lot specifically. So those might be issues we should have as priorities. And like I said, emergency readiness or preparedness could also be a key issue I'd like to see addressed within our council here. So if anyone else has main ideas or goals that you think we should focus on this year, please share.
I just think another topic we could possibly focus on is just the cleanliness of the community. One of my community service projects is picking up trash in my district, and for a while we saw that it was cleaner due to the fact that we've been picking up trash, so we actually didn't have to pick up trash for a while.
Okay.
I think that just making sure that like a topic that we can talk about is just like having more resources that are like commonly talked about for kids that are like struggling with mental health so that way they don't turn to um like guns and violence and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just writing down some of the ideas. Um,
I also had another one. So the when the person who said they like raise money for kids in need of a shelter, it also reminded me of we go around, me and my family, and we go like donate like warm clothes in the winter to like homeless people who are on the streets. So I'll just maybe that's something we could talk about.
yeah. Yeah, so helping out the homeless population in St. Louis, mental health resources, community cleanliness, any others? No worries if not. I think it's just like general ideas of what we might want to talk about in the future. I think that's a good start. Those are good options. Um, yeah. Um,
Madam Chair, could I apologize? Could I jump in for just one quick
yeah,
second?
of course.
Okay, and I just want to provide just a little more, um, background as to, I guess, the reason these topics are important. So, uh, it was included in the ordinance, and I'm not sure if everybody had the opportunity to, um, go over the ordinance or read it. But there will come a time where there's going to be a report that is due to Dr. Sam Page and St. Louis County Council, right? In that report, it's going to outline what you all, as the Youth Advisory Council, have been working on, like the things that you're working on. And so, if I'm understanding things correctly, so the topics that you all come up with, whether it be gun violence or mental health issues and such. So at that point, you all would uh, be so the report would include what your ideals are towards that. Like what is it that you hope to see become of these things? So in other words, hey, county council, we feel that um, you know the opioid crisis is something that's impacting, the youth of St. Louis County, for example. This is what we propose should happen. Like we're going to do X, Y, and Z, but we would also, like if the council could come in and provide, X, Y, and Z as well. Is that kind of making sense to everybody? Just to kind of give you a ideal of, what the topics, may look like your work as you are addressing, said topics, and then thirdly, what the report should include. And so with that report, it won't be a situation where you have everything panned out. It won't be like your final recommendation as to whatever topics you choose, opioids, gun violence, or whatever. It'll just be just that beginning piece to let like I said, Dr. Sam Page and the county council know, like, hey, these are the main topics we as a youth council decided impact St. Louis County youth the most. These are the steps that we're taking, you know, to address them, or this is what we want to do to address them. This is what we need from you all as the council to help us with our mission to address these issues. So, did that kind of make sense, or did I confuse everybody more?
Perfect sense to me.
I'm sorry. What happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said that makes sense to me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So again, as you all are having these discussions, you could also, and again, this is you all's council. I am just a helper, if you will. But obviously, these are you all's ideals. This is your council. I want you to have free reign and everything. But as you are discussing, the various topics, you may want to narrow down exactly what it is that you want to address within the specific topics that you speak about. So, all right, back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Yeah, I think because this is our main focus for today, yeah, it'd be a good idea to elaborate. I think for my subject, that I was thinking of, with youth preparedness for emergency planning for disasters. For example, in St. Louis, we had a lot of flooding this summer, and I'm sure a lot of it might have been, a lot of it could have been, maybe items could have been saved, or people could have been saved if people were more aware of what to do in those situations. So, yeah, especially, we're in Tornado Alley, so a lot of these things are important to us in our region. So, just maybe why that subject's important. Yeah. If anyone else wants to elaborate or share, um, and like you all said, you're involved with these things currently, maybe what you're currently doing that we might be able to um, add something to.
I do have a quick question. Um, for next meeting, should we be like looking like things that we could do, like giving ideas of what we could do for like looking up for next meeting? Is that what we should be doing?
Um, well, I guess that's the plan. The plan for now is just to state general ideas of what we might want to do, and subjects we might want to address. I think that'd be a good idea for future meetings, but for right now, I am not too sure.
Okay, thank you.
And if I could again, Madam
Yeah.
Chair. So the ideal today would be again as a group collectively, you all decide what you feel are the top, let's just say, 5 topics that you all as a group wish to address, wish to speak about, wish to work towards, right? Because there will come a time in this meeting that um, everyone will be kind of divided into the separate groups. So again, if there's, let's say, mental health, and then there's gun violence, and then there's drug, opioid use, or whatever. If as a group everyone says, okay, hey, yeah, let's take a vote. These are the top 5. These are the things that are most important to us. So then after that, after the vote, people are divided into groups. And so once you're in your groups, in your individual groups, then at some point, then you all, would come up with, okay, hey, I think this is the direction we should go. Like as it relates to opioids, or as it relates to drug, gun violence and such, right? You all will decide that in your individual groups. So then so then each additional meeting moving forward, you'll be kind of reporting back as a group as to the process of, the work that has been going on related to the individual topics. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Um, and Madam Chair, I'm checking my notes along with yours. I have, I was kind of writing shorthand, but like emergency preparedness, I believe is a topic. I had opioids, I believe. Cleaning up the community, mental health, gun violence, uh, and then what, the unhoused population, I think, was the
Yeah.
other thing I had. Is your or your notes or your similar or
Yeah. I have the same.
so again, as the council, are there additional topics, or is everybody satisfied with the proposed one so far?
I don't know if anyone's already stated it, but marijuana abuse.
And that may be able to be grouped, like it may with the opioids in terms of illicit substances, for example. Um, so that there wouldn't be, two distinct, um,
Mhm.
groups essentially dealing with, um, illicit substance, if that makes sense.
Would it be possible to group like climate change awareness with like the cleaning up the community aspect?
Um, I'm sure it would be possible maybe in the future if we do have certain groups working on certain subjects. We can discuss as a group if we'd want to make that one group or if we'd want to do collaboration between groups. But yeah, that's a good idea.
Maybe you could like more label it as like the pollution aspect because that's like the effects and also how to fix it.
Yeah. Any other ideas? Any elaboration? Anything like that?
Sorry, what's the question? You were breaking out a little bit.
Oh, just would anybody want to elaborate on their subject or add anything else or anything like that?
I think the climate change aspect would be very important if we could all like work on that. Those community groundworks.
Yeah.
And just to be clear again, once the topics are voted upon and they're established, then individuals will be placed in various groups. So everybody won't collectively be working on each individual topic. If that makes sense. So for instance, if there's 5 topics that pinpointed that, hey, yes, these are the 5 top issues we feel are impacting St. Louis County youth the most, and these are the 5 topics to be established, and then individuals would at that point be divided into those 5 groups. Is that part clear?
Clear to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to, just provide some clarity, because I didn't want, everybody thinking that everybody would be working on every single topic. No, you're going to be divided into groups, working, working separately, but then once, that work begins, one unified report will be submitted, outlining the work of the groups. So I guess, Madam Chair, if there are no other, suggestions in terms of issues, if you want to kind of maybe pinpoint down what you heard in terms of the topics, and then
Yeah.
maybe see if everybody's on board with moving forward with those topics.
Did we vote on them today, do you think, or?
Again,
Yeah.
if everybody's in, yeah, that would be, for you to, motion to vote or not.
Mhm.
But again, once there, I mean, if there's no more topics established, then, obviously we want to get the most, have the meetings be as productive as possible. And so if we could kind of get that fine tuned, those topics, and then that would
Mhm.
make
Yeah.
sense. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what I had written down was climate change awareness, specifically the pollution aspect and maybe how to fix it. I also heard donating or maybe working with the homeless population in St. Louis. I heard mental health resources, and maybe establishing more resources for people with mental health issues, um, community cleanliness, maybe trying to work within St. Louis and make it a better environment. And I suggested emergency preparedness. Those were our 5. I think unless anybody has any other ideas, I would maybe like to make a motion to vote for these to be our 5 subjects.
Second.
Thank you.
I have one quick question.
Yeah.
Do you know we all could work on a project to where it's that we can like educate youth about the law? because I feel like that's one thing that our society, as young people, we're not all educated about. It's the lawmaking process or just any civil law.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good advocacy for youth because it's some things that goes on in our system that young people are not, aware of and don't know how that system works. Even with the law enforcement system, just like the right to attorney or, the basic fundamentals of it.
Do you know which one you would like want to replace that with? Because I think we can only have 5.
What was the last one that you suggested?
It was climate change awareness.
I
Or
think
oh
I
no
think
no no.
And just to be clear, I apologize, Madam Chair, for interrupting again. Like there was no limit. I was just giving an example of the different, like, yeah, there wasn't any cutoff. Like I wasn't saying that you only could have 5. Like again, this is you all's council. You could, as
Yeah.
long as you're taking a vote and everybody's on board, um, but again, keep in mind that people will be placed in in individual groups, and so you kind of want that, I guess, in theory, to kind of be balanced out. That, if that makes sense. But again, um, it's up to you and how you want to go about taking the votes on the different topics and whatnot. But so yeah, but 5, I was just kind of throwing that out there as an example. So.
Mhm. Well, I think teaching about law is a very big subject in itself. I think it would take a lot of I don't know, advocacy within I don't know, governmental buildings and school buildings and uh, I think maybe seeing specifically what we could do. What do you think, Precious, that we would be able to do in St. Louis to uh, advocate for that within this council?
we can advocate for like even starting just little programs. Like if students want to come out and just like get out and know the law, like some little fun workshops where young people can be educated on the law, or we can like do form little things in our own little communities, little events where we have those politicians or those prosecutors come out just to educate youth, knowing what an attorney is or knowing what a public defender is, knowing what a prosecutor is, just educating them, or even seeing if we can get in those schools if some students are accessible to get transportation to a county council office, or we can do tours to a prosecuting office. I know we have one in Clayton in St. Louis. So just seeing ways that we can just get students involved in knowing about our system and the law enforcement system. So those are just general ideas. I think that'll be just, just to start off with, and that is important not only to us but to our society and to the future purposes on.
Yeah. Dwayne, do you know if it's possible for us to work with different programs within St. Louis that might do something like that?
I'm sorry. Was that addressed to me?
Yes.
I apologize. You said, is it possible to?
If there was if there were different programs within St. Louis maybe already trying to make that initiative, would we be able to collaborate with them or reach out to them or anything like that? Or is it mostly like within this council?
N- so here's my understanding of things. I don't think that there are um specific limitations in terms of um who all you all could get ideas from and kind of collaborate with. I will definitely uh, find out more information on my end. But again, we're just attempting to kind of get the ball rolling with things. Nothing, at this point is, off limits in terms of, hey, we want to address this. And so as a group, this is what we're prepared to do. We're going to reach out to, various organizations and see how they can get involved, or we're going to, get, tap into other places who are doing something similar to what we have proposed to see how are they having success with it? What are they doing? How are they getting the word out? So then maybe we could kind of manipulate that situation and target just youth from that perspective. So to answer your question, I don't think there's any type of conflict. But again, I'll find out more information on my end.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it would maybe be an ambitious goal, but I think within our groups, it'd be nice to, try to reach for that and plan that and discuss and see what we could do with that over the year, if that's what we want to do within the council. So I know I'm motioned for a vote. I don't know if I have to motion again if it was already seconded. Um, I guess I'll just go with it. Yeah, I think uh, voting for those 6 now, the emergency preparedness, community cleanliness, mental health resources, um, helping out the homeless population, climate change awareness, and education on law. Those are the 6. Um, I we can vote if everyone agrees with it. Say aye. If anyone is opposed to those 6, say nay. Yeah. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Sounds good. Okay. Great. Then I think those are 10 or our 6. Now that we've voted. Yeah, I think that was the main subject that we wanted to discuss for today. I guess in future meetings we'll flesh those out more and form our groups and decide what we want to do within those uh, subjects that we've talked about. Yeah, yeah. DeJuan.
No, I apologize again, Madam Chair. But yeah, but then from those topics that you kind of fleshed out, so then you may want to then either assign or see who wants to be in the various groups. Now, I'm trying to remember, and Mac, maybe you could help out with this. I remember from the last session that there is a certain amount of individuals that could work together outside of the meetings. Am I correct with that, Mac? Or how does that?
So there is in the purpose of quorum, yes. And so I would have to research as to how many you have, but I believe if there's 6 topics, that how many members are there, DeJuan?
Currently 14 members.
Okay, so I believe that the rule is it's actually out of the total amount. It's the quorum of that cannot meet. And so if you had obviously 14 divided by 6, it means you've got 2.5 basically per group. So if you have groups of 2 and groups of 3, that would not be in conflict with the law.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I believe um I remembered. And so and so basically how it would work is that once Madam Chair, once everybody is divided into said groups, and so then I'll be kind of the go-to between the various groups. And so I could have contact with each group,
Mhm.
with the 2 or 3 members, and kind of help them with developing outlines, topics, and et cetera. As to what aspect of the topic that they want to address. And so a lot of that could still be done, outside, in their individual work groups. And so again, um, you will want to get the work groups established today in terms of the groupings.
Yeah, that sounds good. Um, yeah. Okay. So could people say in the chat what group they might want to be on, and then we go from there, or should we do it a different way? Does the chat work?
Mac, you have any thoughts on that?
The chat would work.
Okay.
Alexia, I would just ask that when you get people's responses in the chat that you verbalize that.
Okay. Yeah. And Precious, I would hope maybe you would want to be on the law team. Um, okay. Um, well, yeah, I think it would be a good idea for Precious and then Elizabeth, because she said she wanted to be on the law group, for them to work together on that. I think that would be a good idea.
Perfect.
Um, 3 people have.
Sorry, Madam Chair. Dawn, are you recording this?
That's,
I know.
yeah, that's
We're
what,
writing down who's assigned to which. Or Alexia, are you? Sorry, I just want to make sure that we have a going list.
yeah,
I
that's
can.
what I was trying to do.
Okay. So the um the law group would be Precious and Elizabeth.
Quick question: will we be meeting in person sometimes, or just always virtually?
As of right now, it's virtual. Everything is virtual as of right now. That's not to say at some point it may change, but
Okay.
but as it currently stands, you may have individuals who are
Okay. Perfect. Thank you all.
off in other places. Yep. Um,
Yeah. So looking in the chat, for mental health, Caitlin, Avery, and Audrey have said they want to do that. And I think that works out because it's a group of 3. So we can do that. Let me just write that down. Mm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we have for climate change for law. Um, oh wait, for climate change or for law and mental health, actually. Let me move that. Okay.
And again, to be clear, Madam Chair, did you group community, the community cleanliness um, with climate change? Was that the grouping?
And okay, wait. um, there. So we have, what is it? It is community cleanliness, homelessness, mental health, um, climate change, law, and emergency preparedness. But I don't, yeah, no one has said climate change. It seems like um, maybe we could combine
Yeah,
if
and I know there was some discussion. I couldn't remember if you all
mhm,
did that or not. Combine the climate change with the
community cleanliness.
yeah. Did that happen?
I think those were two separate subjects, but looking at the chat, it might be a good idea to combine them. I think they sound pretty similar as well, like that's what the two groups would be doing. So I'd like to make another motion for a vote if someone could second it.
Second.
Thank you. I propose that we combine community cleanliness and the climate change group for our proposed groups. So all in favor say aye.
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 All against say nay. Okay. That sounds good. I will.
Also,
Sorry.
keep it. I'm sorry. Also, keep in mind, Madam Chair, that you have two members not present today who could also you could I'm assuming could place in
Mhm.
groups as well to kind of balance things out.
Yeah. I think that works out because yeah, I think everybody here today can get what they've asked for, and then the other two people I will just place in groups to even things out. So that sounds good. Okay.
We
So
have a question too, Madam Chair.
oh yeah.
A hand raised.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. So I went out. My internet wasn't working, so I lost what you said from the last 15 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Well basically we are just did you say what group you might want to be in?
No, not yet. If there's any group that needs like a member, I will be in the group.
Okay. Well, we have okay, we have emergency preparedness, community cleanliness, mental health resources, um, working with homeless people, and teaching about law. So we were writing in the chat which ones we might want to do.
Okay.
So
Out of those lists, the two that align with me the most is mental health and community cleanliness. So
okay, if you could write that in the chat, that would be helpful. And we also combined the groups, community cleanliness and climate change. Okay, so what I have so far is that Precious and Elizabeth are in the Teaching About Law group, and Caitlin, Audrey, and Avery are in the Mental Health Resources group. So looking back at the chat, I will put Emily in the donating to homeless, the homeless group.
Yeah, I believe it was Emily, Adele, and Ash. I'm not saying it right. Ashwar also indicated that they wanted to be in the homeless.
Okay.
And then for the climate change community, I had both of the greens, and then also we could add Toby to that group as well to make it 3.
That sounds good.
So we don't have, well, so then that leaves emergency preparedness. We have again 2 members who are not
I think
present that could be placed
I think
in
I
that
think that
group.
works well. I think we can just put the rest in emergency preparedness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In the interest of time, Madam Chair, you want to start looking at some next meeting
Yes.
dates?
Do you have that all written down, the groups and everything?
I do.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, looking to schedule the next meeting. Um, uh, if anyone else has a suggested time that might work better for them or for the group, please let me know. But I would like to suggest either Tuesday, December 13th or Tuesday, December 20th for our next meeting. So open discussion, please. Any,
oh, sorry. I don't think I could do the 13th.
okay.
I
Do
am
you
not
think,
able to do either of those dates. Is there any way that we could go back to the Thursday dates?
okay, which Thursday do you think might work best for you?
Well, like whatever's best for the group, but like when we did it last Thursday, last time, like those, I don't know about everyone else, but Thursday seemed to be better. But if it's not, if it's like too much of a hassle or anything.
Would a Wednesday be better?
What do you think, Audrey?
I also
Y-
can't do Wednesdays, sorry.
Would a Friday work maybe?
I
think
can do
Friday
I
would
can
be
do
cool.
Fridays.
Okay. Who can't do Fridays? Say, okay. I think that sounds good for now. Um,
What if we did like Friday the 16th?
Yeah. Would Friday, December 16th work for everyone here?
That would work for me.
Okay. Would I take a vote for the date? I think I'll do that. I'd like to motion for a vote if anyone will.
What's the date again? I'm sorry.
Friday, December 16th.
The 18th,
16th.
16th.
Mhm.
Okay. Is it virtual?
Yes.
Okay, I'm perfect for it. So
Okay.
motion. No,
Okay.
I think that's how you say it.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
And Madam Chair, would that be 5 or 5:30?
Either works for me. Whichever.
5, probably. I want to get it over with. It's a Friday.
Okay. That sounds fine. Okay. I motion for a vote.
I second that.
And
Thank you. All in favor for our next meeting to be Friday, December 16th at 5 p.m. Say aye.
I
Aye.
Say nay. Sounds good. I think that's our meeting. Yeah. Now that that's been addressed, I think that's all. I motion to adjourn the meeting.
second.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Dujuan, anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, no, we're adjourned.
Okay, great. Thank you all.
I have